Welcome to my channel, friends. Today I am going to explain a thriller movie named Bad Sister, in which a nun fell in love with one of her students, and she was ready to go to any extent to get him. So let's the explanation begin. In the beginning of the movie, we see a boy named Jason. He likes music a lot, and he makes videos of his music and posts it on social media. Jason's school holidays are over, so his parents come to drop him and his sister Zoe to school. A new teacher, Sophie, has joined his school. She was earlier a teacher in another school, but now she has been transferred to this school. Sister Rebecca, who is the principal of that school, takes Sophie to show her the school, while Sophie sees Jason and gets attracted towards him. After this, Sophie comes to her room and starts watching Jason's videos and kisses Jason on the laptop itself. That's when we learn that Sophie already knows Jason. The next day in class, Sophie sees a girl named Sarah talking to Jason, which makes her jealous. She changes Sarah's seat so that she stays away from Jason. On the other hand, she tells Zoe to pray morning. Prayers are performed only by nuns, but Sophie did not know prayer, and she remains silent, even at the time of prayer. Then after class she goes to Jason and asks if Sarah is your girlfriend. Jason says no, she is just his good friend. Sophie gets happy hearing this, but the next day when she sees Jason and Sarah kissing, so she presses her cross in anger so hard that blood starts coming out of her hand. Sophie is a psycho and she would do anything to get Jason. After class is over, Sophie asks Jason why he lied to her, that Sarah is just his friend. Jason had no answer. Sophie then invites Jason to her room after school and tells her that she has an urgent work with Jason. When Jason goes to meet Sophie in her room, his door is wide open. Inside, Sophie is changing clothes. Sophie did all this intentionally, so that Jason would be attracted towards her. Jason also keeps looking at Sophie and leaves without meeting her. Jason comes to his room and imagines Sophie with him all night. Sophie's plan to attract Jason was successful. The next day, when Jason was on his way home for the weekend, Sophie saw Jason and Sarah talking and becomes very jealous. She then asks for leave from Sister Rebecca, saying that her aunt is sick and she needs to go see her. Arrives at Jason's house at night. She hides and sees Jason. Just then Jason gets a call from Sarah. Sophie feels bad seeing this, and she understands that, in order to have Jason, she must first separate Sarah from him. She then secretly puts the weed in Sarah's book. And the next day in class, when Sarah opens the book, Sophie catches Sarah with the weed and tells all this to Sister Rebecca. Sister Rebecca suspended Sarah. Sophie also hides the bottle of liquor in Jason's room, and when everyone's room is checked, a bottle of liquor is found from Jason's room. The principal was about to suspend Jason too. Just then Sophie tells him that Jason should get another chance. The principal does not suspend Jason after listening to her, but as a punishment, he is asked to help all the teachers. Sophie succeed in all her plans to get Jason, and she was bringing Jason closer to her. During this we learn that Sophie's real name is Laura, and she is very rich. Ever since she saw Jason's videos, she fell madly in love with him, and she wanted to get Jason at any cost. That's why she kills Jason's real teacher, Sophie, and she herself comes to his school as a nun. Then when all the students are going home for the weekend, Sophie tells Jason to stay at the school. The next day when Jason is working, Sophie goes to him and tries to attract him. That night when Jason is sleeping in his room, Sophie goes to his room and starts seducing him, but Jason feels it wrong, and Sophie stops doing this. But after Sophie forces him, he becomes intimate with her. Sophie had recorded all this on her phone.